Hey guys, this is Dr. Sandy with your weekly health tip, and I am proud to say I just came from a jog I did outside. I'm feeling like I'm sweating and stuff, and it feels great. And that's the theme of today's exercise. So obviously, as chiropractors, we're huge into fitness. We want the body to be healthy. The benefits are huge. It helps prevent heart disease, diabetes. Research is showing it even helps prevent cancer and major diseases. Anything in the body where there's a sickness, when we start to move the body, it helps the body and helps prevent those things. And if we have those things, we operate at a higher level. So one thing I was going to say is, if you're listening to this, if you're in the Toronto area, right now the cycle we're in, it's summertime. The weather is absolutely gorgeous outside. So I would recommend during this time of the year, as much as you can, whatever exercises you do, try to do it outside. You may even want to get creative. If you do push-ups and stuff, still do them outside. If you like to do your weights, I respect that. You can go to the gym 2-3 times a week, but at least once or twice a week, go for a jog, exercise outside, do jumping jacks outside. People might smile and look at you, but you want to exercise outside. Why? When they've actually done the research, exercise outside is shown to be more powerful and better than exercising indoors. Plus the vitamin D, it's just awesome. The fresh air feels wonderful. So please start to exercise outside. Now, I've said this before, but I'm going to say it for emphasis as well. I am not a fan at all of treadmills. And I've said this to a lot of my patients, and if you're hearing it for the first time, I'll tell you why I'm saying this. So when I first started my practice, people would come in and say, hey, Dr. Sandy, I'm feeling better. Let me go on the treadmill. I just found there was way too many cases where a lot of those people, reoccurring injuries, their knees would give out, their ankles would give out, and just, I don't know, the design of a treadmill is just, and what's the problem with the treadmill? So you type in this number, let's say 5.0, it's on an incline, and if you look at it, this computer is going to constantly be going at a constant rate, and that's not normal human movement. Human movement has variability. You speed up, you slow down, and so you're forced to go on this treadmill. You're running, or walking even at a consistent pace. That's not normal movement. That's an invitation for damage to the knees, the lower back, and things like that. So this is my advice again. So again, if some people are like, whatever, Dr. Sandy, I'm going to do it. I mean, that's your call. I'm just sharing my observation. So I would say avoid treadmill. I'm a big fan of the elliptical. I think the elliptical is a great idea, a great machine. It's much more flowing. And again, even with the elliptical, you want to use a machine where you control the rate, not that you're forced to do a certain speed. Stairmasters, I think, are great as well. Again, where you control the speed, much more safer. I'd go further than that. If you are seeing me as a chiropractor, or you're seeing someone else, or if you're even listening to this and you're not seeing any chiropractor, but you have issues with the back, sciatica, or anything like that, you've been told you have a disc herniation, an MRI showed something, I'm not even a fan of the bike, even stationary or like a regular bike, because all of this weight on a small surface area, very hard on the disc, it puts more pressure, I think is a great way to cause more issues and things like that, so we don't need that, obviously. So again, walking outside will always be the best. Elliptical is good, Stairmaster, and then the bike and the treadmill, I'm not fans of it. How long should you exercise for? I recommend wrap it up within 30 minutes. I'm saying this for the general person. Now, obviously, if you're high performance, if you have some major event coming up and you need to be 3 hours in the gym, that's a totally different category. What I'm saying is for the general person looking for general health. A lot of people now, they're finding, actually, even guys who are really strong and women who are just really amazing, they're finding 30 minutes, 3-4 times a week, but intense 30 minutes done correctly, done properly, but with intensity, where after 20 minutes they're wiped, they have nothing left, correctly, is having huge benefits. So we're finding in the research that it's all about intensity, it's not about duration. So having an intense workout, what's the golden rule I teach all my patients? You do the workout, you should feel refreshed, you should feel relaxed, you should feel energized, and there's that difference between like a good sore and a bad sore. So if you're feeling good, like you used your muscles and you're feeling great, you should be able to take a shower and you're awesome. If you've done the exercise and there's sharp pain, there's a lancing pain, you're wiped out, you feel like, oh man, I think I need a painkiller, I'm in too much pain, you're vomiting, you're dizzy, obviously you've gone way too far, that's not refreshing. If you did a workout and it also took 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days to recover, that's also a big red flag. So listen to your body. Another thing we'd recommend to our patients, if you're coming here as well, is after workout, if it was too intense, some people are tempted to reach for a medication, and we know there's side effects. So what I would recommend, obviously a shower, a hot shower if that suits your body, a cold shower if that works for you, or even a bath, and then the gel packs and whatever you want to use, hot or cold, listen to your body, whatever is refreshing. I'd rather you do that, obviously, in some stretching as well, opposed to medication. Again, always, always, always extreme last resort when it's getting out of control. The other thing I would say is, now that we're talking about exercise as well, is what are the sports that you want to engage in? So the positive sports would be things like swimming, which is fantastic for the whole family, regardless of age. And for some people who can't even swim, just walk in the water. That's awesome. Aquafit stuff is great if your body can handle it. What else I'd recommend? Tennis, squash, badminton, those kind of things. And again, you listen to your body, right? Like if you have bad knees and a bad back, you should not be involved in a sport with a lot of jumping. And I'm sorry, like I know I have some patients who love basketball, they love volleyball, but their spine is so weak in the lower portion, they have disc herniation. They shouldn't be jumping like that, But you just look for alternatives, because every time I give you this advice, I want you to work out as long as possible. I want you to work out in your 70s and your 80s plus, So I want to give you, wouldn't it be awesome to do stuff where you're like, I could do this forever, opposed to you do something for 5 years, your body's banged up, and you're like, I can't exercise at all. That doesn't make any sense. Also, speaking of exercise, in the season we're in, we know a lot of people are starting to golf. Please, 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 even if it's 2-3 minutes, stretch before that golf game, stretch after the golf game. You can't really stretch too much, there's no downside to that. So that will save you so much heartache, even if you can do that. And I'd apply it to people who are gardening, or if you're doing like physical activity that you normally don't do and your body's not used to it, you might like, I'm just going to, clean the house for an hour. Oh, a lot of people are moving in the summer. I'm just going to move it. Take 2-3 minutes to do some gentle stretches. It'll make a huge difference, and the body will be better. Warms up the body. You do your thing, and after you're done, do some more stretches, and just, it's a great preventative thing. We see people who come in like, oh, I never do lifting. I lifted this one thing, I collapsed. I don't want to see that happen. So just doing those simple things will be a huge benefit. So I hope that gave you some gems and it helped you out. What else is happening in the clinic? We had the Living to 100 class, which was awesome. I appreciate every single person who came to that class. Guys, these classes are free. It's information. It saves you time. You don't have to go on the internet, read a ton of books. That's all I'm doing. And then in 60 minutes, I give you the best of the best. So take advantage of it. The next class we have coming is called Cancer Prevention. So cancer, we know one of the top killers, obviously, in North America and in Canada. What can we do about it? And when we hear that word, obviously, it's scary because we don't understand it. So there are things showing up in the research that there's certain lifestyle principles, if we follow, we can at least reduce the chance of having cancer. So to me, I'm thinking, once the cancer shows up, it's crisis mode, and we got to do what we got to do. But wouldn't it be great on a daily basis? We're just doing the best we can to minimize the chance of something like that showing up in our lives. So please sign up for that class. That'll be the last Tuesday in June, so call the office for that. Bring your family and friends, man. I can't believe how many people are coming to the classes. They get this great information, and they're not bringing anyone. I was telling the last class when we just had that class, I was like, wow, you guys are coming out on a Tuesday night, learning great life-changing information. You're not home watching whatever TV show or, just hanging out on the internet or just, playing a video game. You're coming out to learn and grow. And guess what you see in successful people? I want to actually say I've had people come to my classes 6, 7, 8 times. I've had some people come multiple times to the same class. Why would they do that? They're dipping and they're learning. And sometimes what will happen is you're like, wow, Dr. Sandy said that before, I never caught that. Or it could be you're like, I know that thing, I needed to hear it one more time. It goes into your brain and you're like, I will actually do this. I'm telling you from my own experience, man. I'm on this journey. I'm learning with you and I'm growing. I study these people, I look at all this thing, I look at health and wellness, and I'm still like not there, and I'm still trying to implement, and I screw up and I mess up and I get back on it. I hear that thing again, I'm like, wow, I should get back on that. So it's a process. So when I meet people that are like, Dr. Sandy, don't need to come to the class, I'm all good. I'm like, how can you say that? We should all be humble enough to learn from each other, grow from each other, learn a new concept, maybe hear the same concept the 14th time and you're like, but are you doing it, And maybe you're like, yeah, well, I exercise. Can you take it up a notch? Well, I pray and meditate. Can you take it up a notch? You should always be growing and learning. And, the theme of that class, Living to 100, was really like, what can we do to be, youthful? I'll tell you a big secret. Keep learning. I remember when I was in university, I always share this story. I had a classmate, and he was from Europe, and his dad taught him from a very early age. He was, before you go to bed, Tell me one thing you learned. Man, you want to live like every day. Imagine you live your life like that. You learn one thing. Maybe it's about architecture. Maybe it's about cooking. You learn one thing. And man, I am convinced when I've seen some people who are growing older gracefully, where they're still like cognizant of what's happening. Dude, these people are learners. And you know what I really respect? I love the people who get older and they're like, I'm just getting started. You know, they've been in the industry for 30 years. I'm like, oh, there's so much to learn. They have that like childlike youth, that childlike enthusiasm. When I feel sad is I see some older people like, been there, done that. I'm just going to chill out. I'm just going to do that. And I'm like, wow, what a waste, man. You actually have free time. Financially, you're settled and stuff. Do something, learn something, engage. You should do more as you get older. Now you have that free time. Go after your passion, start to volunteer, and your exercise, your health as you get older, and this is going to sound a little odd, I think it should get better. You have more time for it. And we know, of course, there's going to be, you know, the body's kind of going through some changes and some things where you have to be aware, but you have the time to dedicate it. Learn about how, get stronger, be a role model. Man, I'm learning about these people in their 70s. They're entering marathons. They're doing this. They're going to bodybuilding competitions. I'm like, wow, awesome. So another thing I would say is learn every day, grow every day. Just get better and better and better. And man, you will live a longer life, amazing quality of life. And that's what we're all about. And that's my message. Last thing just to wrap up, guys, is as you know, we're Canadians. We got to help each other out in the good times and the bad times, and more so in the bad times. We are really trying our hardest to raise as much money as we can for Fort McMurray. Our hearts go out to them. They're amazing people out there. They're Canadian, man. I mean, we gotta help each other out, man. We're blessed. We live in Ontario, and that's great. But we gotta help out, man. Like, you know, it's amazing around the world. We help people, but you know, there's nothing wrong with helping fellow Canadians. So what I would say to you is, please, please, please contribute. We're going to be collecting money throughout the month of June, and we just really want to help our fellow Canadians. So thank you so much for listening, and God bless you.